Hi guys. So I'm about to leave to go to a friend of mine's house who has been having some things happen in her home, and we're gonna do a little home investigation over there. This is the first of two that I have coming up for you guys. This one doesn't seem very sinister in nature. There's just some things happening with like some appliances turning on by themselves. We'll talk to her more about it, but one of the things I know is that several times her oven has come on in the middle of the night. She lives alone, she's a single woman, and no kids or anything, and she's woken up and the oven is on the highest setting and it's been on all night, so we'll find out what's going on, if there's anything in there. The second one I have coming up for you might be a little bit more creepy, if you're into that. It's another friend of the family that lives in a home where actually someone was murdered in there. And it was a domestic situation, and I guess the guy never was charged or convicted with the murder of his girlfriend. And the family actually lived in the upstairs. There's like a duplex. So they lived in this house when this happened, and they watched all of the, you know, commotion when the body was taken out and everything. And they actually heard some stuff going on before she was murdered. They heard like screaming and things being thrown. And so that one is going to be a little bit interesting. I guess the family is hearing things, seeing things all the time. So that's coming up for you. Right now I'm gonna head out to go to the first of two home investigations, and I'll check in with you when I get there, and we will see what's been turning on the appliances in this girl's home. Okay? Check you out. We made it. I'm about ready to head in there. It was about a 40-minute drive from my house where I live. So I'm about to head into the house, guys. Let's go. Nice neighborhood. I think it's almost a full moon tonight too. I'm heading into the house. I'm obviously not going to show her address for privacy reasons, but we're here, guys. Hey guys, this is Shannon with Dances with Werewolves. Tonight I am at the home of Stephanie. She's the homeowner who's been having a little bit of weird things going on in her home. And that's my friend Veena. She's here for the investigation tonight. We're just hanging out. We had a couple glasses of wine and some food. And oh yes, Veena's son George. I want to send a big shout out to him. I just found out today that he subscribes to my channel. What's up, George? Thanks for watching. I'm gonna flip this camera around and we're gonna talk to Stephanie about what's been going on here in her home. So this is my friend Stephanie, the artist. As you can see behind her, she has a beautiful painting that she has done. She has a few on the walls here. Stephanie, how long have you lived in this home?
Since 2003.
So she's been here a while. When did this weird activities begin in your home?
It's been happening for quite a while. I don't know if, you know, in the beginning it was just sort of now and again. So I guess I don't remember like how long ago, but then it just sort of collectively has been building up. So now it becomes more of a joking point, you know. And it's been happening a lot more lately.
So I remember you telling me about some weird things, kind of like maybe even like 2 years ago. Was that around the time that it started happening here, or was it even before that?
Probably before that. Like I've had some problems of like appliances, you know, like, and my dad's always said, well, it's because, you know, that the wiring was wrong with the appliance, or, you know, it was a surge of energy that came through things, so I just needed a surge protector, or, you know, something like that. So I haven't really put much, you know, I don't know, it didn't weigh in a lot to it until I guess more recently I've been joking about it, and then you were talking about it. So then the idea of ghosts, I don't know.
So the thing with your stove now, so you were saying that one night you were sleeping and you woke up and came into the kitchen and the stove was like turned on full blast?
Yes, so you have to, you know, it was the self cleaner was on, so it was like 500 degrees. I had smelled something, I was sleeping. You know that smell you get when you do the self cleaning thing on your stove?
Yeah.
And then it like kind of fills up the area, and
so that woke you up?
It woke me up,
yeah.
Right? So I thought something was burning. I thought it was really strange because I hadn't, you know, been here to do anything. And so then I went and I saw that it was turned on in 500 degrees. And so I had thought maybe, you know, my dad had to come home with me that night to deliver something here. And I thought maybe he had accidentally put something on the stove and stuff. So I called him and asked him, like, did you set anything there, or did you brush against it, or do you remember anything? He's like, no, I wasn't even near the stove. So then I thought, well, maybe it was my cat, but maybe she jumped up. But she would have to have hit like 2 buttons at the same time on an incline, which I guess is possible. But so since that point, I use it and I turn it off. Like I turn off the circuit breaker after I use it. So I don't know.
So how many times did your stove turn on that you know of by itself?
Just that once. But that was enough, because I just thought, if it turned itself on the one time, that the only way that, you know, I just never trust it after
well, and
that
if
point.
it was turned up all the way, I mean, and you were sleeping, that could be potentially dangerous.
Yes.
If you don't know if there's like something gonna start on fire.
Right.
Or...
So at that point, I had 2 little kitties in the house, and I didn't feel safe ever leaving the house, thinking, boy, this could turn on now, and I would be like gone, and I wouldn't be here. You know, if it was catching fire, or if it was electrical, or if it wasn't the cat. Right. So I was kind of on the fence of like, well, it's the cat, you know, it's probably the cat. Probably the cat did it, but, you know, I don't know. So I just didn't want to take the risk of it.
Right. Okay, so there's the stoves, and then what else have you experienced?
So next to the stove, there was a Keurig, and the Keurig turns itself on and turns itself off. And so I had it for 2 years, and just randomly it turns itself on and turns itself off again. So it's not like just that, you know, it had like a timing and it just, you know, you turned it on and forgot to turn it off, it turned off itself after a period of time. No, it would turn itself back on. I would hear this rumbling of like the water heating up, and then come back a little bit later and then be off again. So, crazy. And then that happened for quite a long time.
And so you did have your like electric stuff and your circuit breakers tested when all this was happening, and they were what? They were fine, right?
Totally fine. My dad he does a whole bunch of wiring stuff. He has the little tester things. He went to all the outlets. There was no blockage. They all tested green, so there was no interruptions of the lines. And then he went and tested like the breaker, and all the ones are working. So he said that there wasn't.
So there's essentially no real rational explanation for any of this, which is why I'm here.
Other than it's just, you know, a whole bunch of things that happened to be all put together that was just bad timing.
Just weird. So, and then there's a lamp in your bedroom that...
Yeah, that's weird. That one, my dad keeps on saying that it's just, you know, this loose, that there's these shoddy, like, touch light things. So you can make your light into, like, a touch light by, like, adding different, like, things to either the outlet or to where the bulb sits. Sure. And so, he's done that for me so that, you know, I could, you know, turn it on quickly at night and stuff like this, and not have to go to, you know, crawl up underneath it to get it to shut off and stuff. But it also, so it turns itself into various levels of dim, and then turns itself back on. So I'll come home and sometimes it'll be on, and I'll wonder if I left it on, or if someone came over and forgot to turn it off, but then it'll turn itself on in the middle of the night and then turn itself off again. And
in the middle of the night?
In the middle of the night, and my dad has replaced it, I kid you not, about 12 times.
Well, that's a little unsettling.
12 different ones from like the Home Depot. He claims it's just a really crappy product and that they wear out really fast, and so that's when they start
touch,
happening.
so essentially something has to be touching it in order for it to like come on or shut off.
It's the conduction.
Okay.
It's like the between the light and then where the metal is of the lamp, and he just says that they're really poorly made pieces. And so that I should only expect that they'll last a certain period of time before something goes wrong. But then, of course, what goes wrong is just something that they don't just die. They turn themselves on and off. So it's been this ongoing joke of how many of them that we can, you know.
Well, did you say you got through 6 microwaves?
Yes.
Tell us about the microwaves.
So the microwaves die. So they don't turn themselves on, but they just die. So I've been here, since 2003, and I'm on my 6th one. So
see, that right there, I didn't know that before tonight, and that kind of like set something off for me, because I know for a fact that paranormal things feed off of energy of electronics. A lot of times when people go out to film like Ghost Adventures or the Travel Channel, when they film like paranormal stuff going on, they'll walk into there with like cameras on full charge and full lights and everything, and like in 2 seconds it's all drained, because I know that they do feed off of like electronics and for energy. So that kind of was weird to me. But so you've had 6 microwaves?
Yeah. I mean, they weren't all brand new. I mean, to preface, the first ones were like, you know, like the ones I had from like school, or the ones I had when I was, you know, they were as not brand new ones. But the last 3 of them have been brand new, and they've just died. So,
okay. Is there any other thing that's going on besides those things? Anything that you've set down that's, you know, misplaced when you look for it, or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Do you have any other questions, Veena?
No.
Okay. So I had brought my equipment today, and we're just going to try a couple of different things. I have an EMF detector that we'll have Veena walk around with and see if we can get a spike on it anywhere. This tests the change and shift in the electromagnetic field, which indicates that there's a presence of something like a spirit. And then I have a digital recorder here that picks up EVPs. So when we ask a question, we play it back. The questions that I say will be back to back unless there's any interference in between my voice. Then it will stop and play whatever that sound is that we can't hear with our ears. And then, of course, I have the SB7, the spirit box that they use on Ghost Adventures. And this, what it does is it kind of sweeps, rapidly sweeps the frequencies in the airwaves, and it picks up things that maybe we can't hear with our own ears. So we're going to test it out, see if we can see what's been playing around with Stephanie in her home here. And like I said before, I don't think it's anything sinister at all. And when we open up our communication, we obviously don't want to, we are not here to communicate with anything evil or sinister or anything that's going to hurt us. We are asking for the protection of the Creator and the white light, so that we are just going to get answers to what is going on in her home. So without further ado, I'm going to go check out the stove, and then we'll start.
I think you have to set the self-clean, and then you have to hit another button.
Is it on right now?
No, it's not on.
So
I mean, is your circuit breaker on so that we could turn it on?
Yeah, why don't you demonstrate, Stephanie, how you would have had to turn the stove on to do the self-cleaner that night, so we can see. I'm sure you think it might have been a cat, but looking at this now, I highly doubt it. But how
she would have had to been standing on the self-clean and then used one of the presets to get it to put on. So she would have had to push 2 buttons at the same time, which is.
So this right here is the self-clean, and which other one at the same time?
The presets.
Okay, so yeah, she would have had to be literally touching with each paw, sliding off the stove at the same time.
With 2 different paws.
But to be fair, she does turn the stove on my mom's house on. The one that has the child locks that supposedly that you have to push on for a long time with your thumb to get it on. So she's able to actually turn on the stove at her house. by walking around it. So
So the stove at your mom's house though is not like at this incline either, is it?
It's all on the glass, but she does seem when she's naughty and she wants our attention.
The child protection is just so like little hands can't get up to it, right?
No, the child protection is actually a lock you have to put your finger on for a while before you can actually get the presets to get any of the buttons to push or to do anything else. And she actually gets the lock off and the stove on. Because she walks across it and her little feet are like warm enough that they do it. So there's a fair chance that she could have stepped, possibly. I don't know. It's I don't know. I wasn't here, so I don't know. And so then part of me thinks if it's a faulty stove and something's wrong with the board that's underneath it, or just, not sinister or not ghost-like or anything like that, it still is something that I don't trust.
Well, right. That's kind of,
To be honest, so that's why it's off.
Okay. So let's get the equipment out and see what we can capture.
But all the things are here. This is where the Keurig turns itself on and off. That's where the microwave dies. And this is where the stove is.
So all in this general area. So let me go grab my stuff and we'll just bring it in here and see what we can capture. Okay, so we have Veena here with the EMF detector, and we're just gonna see if we can get it to spike. So if that meter goes from green to red, it indicates that there's a shift in the electromagnetic field, which is the indication that there's something paranormal. A lot of times it will do it on command if you ask. I'm going to turn on this digital recorder and ask some questions and do some recordings and then see if we can get this to spike. So let me turn this on here. All right. So, can somebody tell me what has been turning on the appliances here in Stephanie's home? If there's something here, you can come to this meter and you can come near it and make it turn red. Is there anything here? Any spirits that want to take responsibility for the oven turning on, and the lamps turning on and off, and the microwave dying? Is there any paranormal phenomenon associated with any of these activities, or is it something just purely electrical going on? Do you want us to walk over to the stove and see if you can make it light up to red? Take it over there and see. Can you make it turn red? Okay. Let me stop this really quick and we can see if there's anything on here. Now we can play it back. Yeah. We're reaching out to you to see if you can tell us what is turning Stephanie's appliances on here in her home. Can you tell us? Is this anything paranormal? Is it just an electrical problem? trying to talk. Can you tell us if this is something paranormal turning on her appliances? No? I heard a no. What is making her appliances come on by themselves? Is this an electrical problem in her house? No. What is making the stove turn on? Me. Who said me? Is there anything that she needs to be scared or nervous about with this stove? Yep. Should she get a new stove? What about the microwave? What's going on with the microwave? Is there something feeding off of the energy from the microwaves? Probably. You hear that? So it's picking up, it's sweeping radio frequencies, and then they can use it to manipulate sound into words.
Oh, okay.
What is using the energy from the microwaves? And the Keurig, who is turning that on and off? Is there any message that you have for us? Wait. Okay, well, we're going to listen to this back and see if we can figure out what you're saying. But I want to just ask again, is Stephanie safe here with the stove? Does she need to worry about it turning on again? I just want to ask if there's anything here that is making these things happen that you please stop. Can you please stop? If somebody's making these things turn on by themselves, can you just please stop? Let me ask one more thing. Does Stephanie's cat have anything to do with them turning on and off? Was the cat doing it? Okay. I'm going to turn this off for a minute. Thanks for talking to us. No problem, it said. No problem.
Overall. We're all.
So I just want to see right now. There was a couple of people talking in there. There was a man and a woman that I could hear, and I have to go back and listen to them to pick it up. I can slow it down or speed it up and catch what the voice is saying. I can edit this video with subtitles later if I can make out some of the things. But a lot of times you do have to listen back to these videos and find out what it actually said. There was a few things I caught right away, but a lot of things were there was a lot of stuff coming through. So I'm just going to see one more time if there is anything here that is of any paranormal nature. Can you just like this meter off? Can you make it turn red? Can you make it spike a little bit? Or even yellow? What if we walk it to the touch lamp and see what happens over here? So we're in Stephanie's bedroom right now. We are by the lamp that was turning on by itself. And this was a touch lamp where you had to actually physically touch it to make it turn on or turn off. So we have the EMF detector here. Is there anything in this room that would be causing the electronics to turn on and off by themselves? Can you make it spike? Is there anything here that would be able to make that meter go off? You can come touch that thing right there, the little gray thing that Veena has in her hand. And when you move towards it, it will make it turn yellow and red. Can you do that? So I guess we'll just ask a question. If there was anything that was paranormal that was turning her lamp on and off, you can make it spike. And if not, just leave it green. Nothing? Was it the cat that was touching the lamp and turning it on? For yes, you can make it turn yellow. Nothing. Okay. So one last thing, we're just going to play back the video recorder, the digital recorder, and see if we got anything recorded onto here. So here goes. Is there anything in this kitchen of a paranormal nature that's turning Stephanie's appliances on and off? What is causing all of her microwaves to die? Is there something paranormal that's feeding off that energy? Was Stephanie's cat the one that turned the stove on and off? And should Stephanie be scared or nervous about the stove? Should she be worried that something's going to happen with the stove turning on? I don't think so. So that concludes our video tonight. I did not catch anything paranormal coming through the EMF detector, so that's a good sign. Stephanie, I think, is relieved and can sleep well tonight, knowing I don't think there's any spirits in here. We were getting some voices on the spirit box, so I'm gonna go back and look and see if I can determine what those voices were saying and where they were coming from, but I did not get the impression that there's any spirits in here, at least evil spirits for sure, no. So any last words from you guys?
I think you're relieved.
Yes, very relieved.
Okay, well, we had a great time tonight filming this for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye. So the final verdict here at Stephanie's home, I don't think she has any spirits or any type of paranormal activity. Oddly enough, though, as soon as we turned the camera off in the kitchen, I heard like a scream behind me. And at first I thought it was crazy, and then my friend Veena was like, did you hear that? I'm like, yeah. So we don't have any way to debunk that. We didn't catch it on camera though, so I don't know. I guess we'll just leave that one up to, I don't know. We don't know what happened. Indecisive. But anyways, done for tonight, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out the next one, Murder House. That should be really interesting. Anyways, have a good rest of your night. Bye, guys.